Hello and welcome to the first Dark Future Dissection, where we're going to go through our podcast, Dark Future Dice, and talk about a little bit of the behind the scenes of how Titus puts together a campaign, how we felt being players for the first time, me and Lindsay, and so on and so forth. I don't know, other things will be talked about, as well as our plans for the next campaign. We're going to keep it loose for now, but we'll talk a little bit about what we're going to do, some exciting changes, and all that kinds of stuff. So I guess let's get into it. I'm Pat, and this is Lindsay.
Hey.
And Titus.
How's it going?
So, yeah, I think we have a list of topics over there that we want to talk about. What do you want to talk about first, Titus?
Let's talk about your guys' experience doing this for the first time, I guess.
Yeah. So yeah, me and Lindsay had been like bugging Titus to do like a Cyberpunk campaign with us for a while, actually.
No, I think it's more like he was bugging us.
No, I think it was the other way around.
No, I remember Titus being like, so I really wish you guys could play Cyberpunk with me, and it wasn't gonna be like a podcast.
Yeah,
just gonna be for
we were just
fun
gonna get together and play Cyberpunk, and I think then you started bugging me, and then eventually,
we were just like, why are we bugging each other? Why not we just do it?
Yeah, we had to make it into a podcast to actually get ourselves to do it, because we
motivate.
Like otherwise, we won't put away any free time for ourselves.
No, that's true.
I think we were doing a podcast, but we kind of were bored with what we were doing, and we needed a new direction or something.
I think
it was the Patreon exclusive
Patreon
podcast.
one. Yeah.
Oh right, okay.
We used to have that.
Yeah, and we just like weren't getting what we wanted out of it, and I think we needed like an excuse to have fun. That's how it started anyway, the podcast, and take our minds off of the development of our game. I
like wasn't like super nervous about it up until like the actual moment when I was like really excited putting together the character sheet and rolling. I was like, oh man, there's so many cool storytelling possibilities and stuff like that. And then the night of like, actually, okay, now it's time to
record it.
Like I remember after finishing the setup episode, I was like, I just want to play. Let's just play right now. But we had to wait.
No, we did.
No,
did
we? Both.
Yeah.
The character creation in chapter 1
was both. Yeah, we recorded that in the same day. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so I was psyched to play, but then as soon as it was like, okay, record, and I was like, now it's time to role play, and it was the first moment it turned it over to us, and I was like, okay,
what do I
do? Hey, Barb. I was definitely nervous.
Yeah, I wasn't so much nervous as I was just like out of place. Like out of my element. I'd never done anything like that before. Like actually, I probably had when I was a kid, like when we played pretend and stuff. But I haven't done that in so long. It felt weird to like play pretend again. It was like, is this okay? Like, can I be a kid again? I don't know.
Yeah,
it was so weird.
It's liberating. It's
Are
like
people
a little
gonna
liberating.
judge me for like saying this thing this way? Or it's so weird. But I think it's good for like adults to be able to do that, because a lot of the time we do have to like, make ourselves smaller and like conform to like other people's ideas of how we should be. And role playing, you don't have to do that. You can just be whoever you want to be, and that's really cool.
Yeah. It's like a unique kind of like energy you get from it. Unique kind of like excitement that you feel, and like after you're done a session, you're just like, you have to like calm down, because it's like you're so, I don't know,
you're all like pumped up. You're all like adrenaline fueled.
And it's just like you don't get that from anything else. I feel like you can not that same kind of excitement, and also like a certain kind of tired that you get afterwards.
For sure.
Like, oh man,
mental tired.
So I don't know, it's been great. I really enjoy it. Like I feel like as far as my experience playing an RPG for the first time, it's been awesome. I really like it. And I feel like Cyberpunk was like 2020 was like the right way to go for my first time. I mean, maybe not. Maybe like something more rules light would have been.
I don't know.
A little easier to grasp, but
either way, we caught on fairly quickly.
It would have been like way more intimidating if it was like some like person I've never known before.
Yeah.
GMing or reffing, and I would just be like,
yeah, I think having us do it together was definitely a more comfortable experience.
I've never had the experience of like DMing a bunch of people that I didn't know, and that sounds terrifying to me.
Yeah.
So I've heard of these places where you just go in and players get matched up with GMs and DMs, and it just seems because I've been in situations where I've DM'd, and it's just like one person behaving a certain way can kind of ruin the whole thing, and I'm not great at like coming down on people, so
moderating.
Yeah. So it's more for me just about trying to find the right balance of people. And it was, I really was happy with how this group came together and made a story. Because, it's really cool. And it's really easy, I guess, to just be like, oh, this is stupid and pretend, and I'm not going to take it seriously. And so it's really cool when people do take it seriously and are working together to make a story. So it's been a great experience for me too.
Yeah. I think it helps that we all write together
for
our other projects and have the same sense of humor. And that, so that makes it kind of like, I feel like easier to kind of get into a groove and enjoy playing. Yeah. So, I guess the other part of it has just been like a big learning experience, like learning everything that I can about how to play a tabletop RPG, or maybe not learning everything that I can, but just learning as I go, I guess.
Yeah.
There's so much, I guess, depth that you could get into with it, and I guess I'm more interested in like the role play elements of it and less interested in like the technical aspects, but I think it'd be interesting to get more of the technical. I get more technical knowledge to like help inform the role playing as well.
I'm not sure, because it's for you as the players. It really should just be about
the experience.
You thinking, you thinking about yourself in that situation and deciding what you want to do. And I think it's up to me to decide how to use the rules in a way that makes it, like there's fairness, where I'm not just letting you guys do everything or not letting you guys do everything.
Right.
That there's a balance of luck. Like things could fail, then we use the rules to try to figure out what happened, and that's the way I think about it. So I think there's a danger of like you getting too in, like I'm it's cool that you want to learn more about it, but I think sometimes there's a danger where players get really invested in the rules and they start to look at their characters and be like, well, if I do this and this and this, then I've min-maxed my character to a certain amount, and
then it makes less interesting play.
It just makes characters that are just kind of machines that are good at doing one or two things, and it's less exciting than more organic characters. So you were saying that you learned some new stuff about Cyberpunk since doing this, right? Like there was someone sent you some alternate rules for hackers, and shout out to Eric Vogt. He sent me some alternate rules for net running. I wasn't really using the traditional rules for net running because our netrunner is an NPC. And so I wasn't really going to go through and role play out every interaction on the net that he did. And I haven't used those alternate rules yet, but I'm thinking about using them going forward in order to just give some random elements to, Alloy Knight's ability to give you guys information.
And then you also said something, I feel like you said something last time we finished playing about how you learned a little bit more. You were reading up on fixers.
Yeah. One thing that I think kind of happened in this campaign is that it was a bit of it was written before you guys made your characters, and I had guessed what type of roles each of you would want to be, and I had guessed wrong in both
Really?
categories. Yeah.
Oh,
what did you think we were doing? Yeah.
I had pinned you, Patrick, as being a rocker boy.
Yeah, that makes
And
sense.
I pinned Lindsay as wanting to be a nomad. So it wasn't so serious with...
it was between Nomad and Solo for
yeah,
me.
so it wasn't so serious with Lindsay, but in terms of the fixer, there is... this is a little embarrassing, but inside your special ability Street Deal, one of the things you can do is locate a person.
Right.
Oh.
So I was infinitely nervous that you would ask me if you could use your Street Deal to locate Callista Maddox.
yeah.
And I don't know what I would have said to you if you had done that. I think the
if I had known that, yeah.
I think the other consequence was that there was the Chinwei character that was also a fixer that set you guys up. And so, we can talk a bit more about this in the, going forward. But my hope is to make you the Chinwei in the next campaign. So you can use more of your fixer abilities to do that kind of stuff instead of having to go through somebody. But it did help drive the plot sometimes to have
Chinwei.
Yeah, so
who I
I'm gonna
leaned on all the time.
Yeah.
And then would give her shit for it too.
I did not give her shit. What do
yeah,
you mean?
you got all defensive when she's
Yeah.
showing you up.
But
I think that was a
little bit.
I thought
A
that
little
was
bit
funny.
justified because you should have been able to do certain things, and so I can't remember the name of the book that I've ordered, but it's got some different ways of handling how to give you like a list of contacts and so your abilities to tie in directly to the black market or information or that kind of thing. And so I'm hoping to set that up so you have more of an involvement in that side of things.
That could be interesting.
Yeah.
More phone calls for me.
Yeah. I mean,
Maybe get a burner phone this time.
Apparently too there's different versions, and one is this is the really serious role-playing version where you have every character and in your contact list and you role play everything out, and I think we're going to go with that one just because of the nature of how we play the game. But so there were those characters in place that were fixers setting you up with jobs because I didn't imagine that you were going to be a fixer. So it kind of made an interesting thing, and we can think about it as being maybe this was a campaign where you were away from your contact list, out of your element.
That's kind of how I role played it, where he was over his head and out of his element, and second guessing his abilities as a fixer.
Because if you had been more of a detective type, then you would be in your element because it was more like a mystery than anything. But
there is no
there's
I guess archetype for that in
no
in the detective. I guess a cop.
You could be a cop.
Yeah.
But
I want to. That's the thing. I don't want to be a cop.
No, I don't want to be. One thing I never want to be is a corporate. And
really?
And I never want to be a cop. But I might want to be a rocker boy or girl or whatever.
Well, maybe
at some point.
That'd be interesting. I guess we should announce that we are planning to continue the story of Barb and DP in the next campaign. But there could be a possible rocker boy game in the future. Maybe I don't know. We could think about it, but you were saying though that you liked the mystery aspect of it, because that was one of the things that I felt like was handled a little awkwardly based on how I wrote the game, but I'm glad you like it, because I do kind of want to continue that vein of the games being kind of mysteries.
Yeah, I like that, and I also like the hint of the romantic relationship between DP and Sleazy Chan or Alloy Knight or whatever.
I think it turned out to be more Alloy Knight and Sleazy Chan in the end. I don't know. I mean,
but it was
who knows with Sleazy Chan, right?
And interesting, yeah.
There was also Ruby too,
and
right?
Ruby
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. Because I like that kind of stuff too. And it's, it's funny to see it play out and role play it. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder what it would be like to be more of the traditional fixer in a campaign. Because I don't know, I did like while it was extremely stressful at times, us being just completely out of our element and the odds against us kind of thing. But I don't think that's going to be missing.
Yeah, that's not going to be missing. It's just that you'll maybe just have, instead of having one person that you're going, you maybe just have more of a direct connection to the underworld, and a list of contacts for different things.
Yeah.
It would require more characters and that kind of thing, and I hadn't really planned for it when we started out, but I think it would be important to do that, and a little more fair to you to be able to use your street deal, and just more exciting possibilities in the story for you to do that kind of stuff.
I think it'd be kind of fun to talk about some regrets, not like deep regrets, but like some things that we feel like we messed up on during the campaign, because I feel like there's several things that went horribly wrong in our lots of things that went horribly wrong in the campaign that I think it's fun. Like after we put out episode 9 or chapter 9, everyone was like, those rolls, and we're like, at the time, me and Lindsay were so pissed.
Yeah.
But afterwards, it was kind of like, that made for a more entertaining episode, I think, because it was like, it was just, how we got, the stakes just rose every time we screwed up. It was like, oh my God, now Lindsay's injured, or Barb's injured. Now, what's her name is injured. And then I got injured, and then it was just got like more and more intense. And it's like, so I don't know. I think while the fumbles are frustrating, it's like it can also be kind of exciting when that kind of stuff happens.
Definitely.
But regrets, right? Okay. Here's a big one. We never used luck throughout the entire campaign.
And we didn't know when to use it mostly.
Yeah.
Because apparently it doesn't work if you fumble.
And
most of our rolls were fumbles, so it was probably best that we didn't use luck, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, if I have one complaint with Cyberpunk 2020, which I love the system and everything like that, but it's it's kind of frustrating that luck doesn't supersede
a fumble.
Yeah. Because it's when I'm really hoping to get a good roll.
Yeah.
I want that luck to kind of be almost a guarantee, but I mean, that's the nature of Cyberpunk 2020,
that's usually
right?
The best I can hope for is at least not to fumble.
Yeah.
And you can't even get that with luck. Useless to me.
But I think it shouldn't. I think if I was to go back and do it again, I would use luck anyways, because it does, whether you waste it or not, it resets every time you play. So
yeah.
I should have just used it, even if the fumble superseded it. It wouldn't be. If it didn't, I would get a sweet roll. So
true.
That's not exclusive to you guys. I've always had trouble getting players to use their luck.
Yeah.
I think it's just you're conserving it. You're always there could be a worse situation than going to be
exactly.
Yeah,
that was the thing in chapter 9.
When is it really?
Yeah, what's going to happen when we get in the submarine? That's some shit's going to happen there, and it turned out nothing happened. So it was just it was the end of the chapter, and I was like, okay, well, I should have used it probably before that.
Totally. I guess I'm open to considering other ways that we could use luck or make it a part of the game, because. It's tough to use it because you think I'm going to need this later, and then and then the episode's over and no one used their luck.
At the end of every episode, I would edit it, and then I'd listen to it again after it was edited and everything like that, and I'd always be like, didn't use luck, and I would always make a mental note. Gotta use luck.
You literally just wrote a note on a post-it
at the last episode. I was just said, use luck, Patrick. I had one note for myself. It was to use that, and I did it.
I think there's a few episodes where I start off by saying,
"You can use
remember you have luck, and you can use luck."
No, didn't happen.
And I sort of have this rule where I don't want to tell you guys when I think you should use luck, because I can't know that something worse might come later, and I don't want that responsibility to be well, you said I should use my luck here, and now I'm dying.
It's wasted. Yeah.
it has to be your decision. But all I can
that's
do
fair.
is remind you that you have it. Yeah.
Yeah. The other regret I feel like I have is that I didn't use so much stuff on my character sheet until later on. I started to get more into it, and there's a couple of moments that I thought were kind of funny where I used stuff on there that really did not fit the context.
Well, yeah, like the fact that you care about
I
love.
only believe in love.
Yeah,
okay?
that's your belief is love. It's like, what?
As an argument
you just
to
killed
kill
so many people.
It was as an argument to
Cold-blooded
kill.
murder.
What's his name? Who is the guy that fixed us at the beginning?
Alden King.
Alden Kane. Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta kill him. There. I was like, no.
All I believe is love. It is love. So I tried to fit stuff in later, like with the letter and stuff like that. But there's some stuff on there that I think would be interesting to implement more into.
For sure. Same with mine. I'm like friends with everyone, and I have like an inn with a booster gang and like a nomad family
and
that I
one
can call on. And
I'm going to set up in the new campaign
like
with
I should've
actual
used that.
characters that I think when you know the characters and you know you can call upon them, you're more likely to do it.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely going to set that up, and I think there's some really good narrative reasons to kind of have that happen now, based on what happened in this campaign. So
It's just so ironic to me though that like I'm the solo character with all the friends, and then Patrick's the fixer that no one likes.
we were looking at our character sheets the other day, and mine says one of my qualities is stable.
Stable and serious.
Yeah. Stable and serious. I'm okay with not using that
And then
anymore.
Sleazy Chance says no eyebrows, and she clearly has eyebrows in the drawing
illustration,
that we didn't realize.
I noticed that.
But it actually makes it funnier.
Yeah, I think she paints them on.
Yeah,
I think that's
she can't even be honest on her character sheet. Like that's the joke.
that's her in a nutshell. Yeah.
Speaking of Sleazy Chan, that was one of the things we wanted to talk about.
Yes. Well, this ties into maybe the moment where the plan for how this campaign was going to go kind of fell apart for me. And it was
so hold on. I just want to say to anyone listening, if you kind of don't want the illusion broken a little bit or something like that, maybe don't listen to this part, I guess, because like I guess some people might want to imagine that it was all planned or something like that.
Well, yes, but
if you're gonna listen past
is.
this point, you're gonna realize it's not all planned.
Yeah, and I'm gonna try to stay away from talking about anything that might come up in the next campaign. And more just talk in general terms, but
it's behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So
this is the behind the scenes. This is the dissection. So I feel, and it's true. I normally don't like to talk about this kind of stuff because I don't want to break the illusion for you guys to think that, oh no, we're in good hands. Yeah. Titus knows what he's doing.
Well, that's why we waited till now.
Since when have I ever thought that?
Yeah, not Lindsay so much. Yeah, but
yeah. That's why we're waiting till after the campaign to talk about it, because now it's like we're taking a break. We're not in that. We're not worried about that specific storyline. It would have been weird to be like, how much did you know at the time of like when it was all rolling out? But
I wouldn't want to talk about that. But there was an event where the Marquis was starting a massive gang fight.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay.
And so I'm going to just go through the chain of events of how the story went off rails. And I think that's a good thing. I should clearly say that it's been really fun to try to write it. But if you go back and listen to,
episode
everything.
3 or something like that?
Well, I mean, from 1 to the end, you might notice that a lot of characters or plot threads just kind of
hanging loose out there.
And I'm trying to maybe explain why that might be, right?
Right, okay.
So, there was a major gang war going on, and you guys explicitly, I think literally just said,
no.
Whatever's going on there, we're just going to do our own thing. we're not even going to,
We're not gonna
interact
engage
with that.
with that.
It was Lindsay that said
No,
it. I remember.
I was so into the Callista mystery at this point. I was like, we gotta find out where Callista is. I don't give a shit about some booster gang warfare, man. We gotta find out where this girl is.
Right. Yeah, well, it was planned, it was going to tie into all of that as well.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, in order to save a little bit of, give myself some time to write it, I added in some combat. I was like, okay, well, the consequences of this is that there's combat in the street, and I had kind of planned to do that anyway.
Yeah.
And then, I was like, well, this is a great opportunity for Alden Kane's men to move against you guys because you've done this thing.
Right. Yeah.
And I guess, things happened and you can listen back to it, but it ended with a flashbang going off, destroying the computer with all of your clues on it.
Oh yeah. And Alloy Knight was pissed.
Yeah.
And you never let the computer thing go for the rest of
No,
the campaign.
no,
Now
of course
I'm in
not.
debt with
Now I know why.
Our characters are in debt with computer after computer.
Yeah.
But it also meant that you guys didn't have access to all of that stuff or a way of getting any of that stuff. So it kind of left us all in an awkward position, and I kind of understand why you guys just decided to just go after, to just
the one thing we
laser
knew.
focus on one thing.
Yeah.
But it was the one thing that ended up being where she was.
Yeah.
That was something I wrote at the beginning of the campaign. Because I made a sort of promise to myself that I was like, I'm going to decide what has happened, and I'm going to put her somewhere.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to change it no matter what happens.
Right. Yeah.
Because, normally what I had done in the past would be like to put her in the place that story, as the story is progressing, to leave where she could be up in the air and then just decide like, oh, well, if I do this, it looks like, I had this whole thing planned and it would be great if she was there.
Yeah.
In this case, I was like, no, I'm going to, challenge to myself. I'm going to put her here. And I'm going
to myself.
and I'm also going to just make it seem like it's not that interesting a place, or it's a dangerous place for them. When they see it, they'll just be like, well, we can't get in there.
No, I was
Move
all
on
over
to
that.
the next thing. But you guys just laser focused on that. On that locker. So
And no matter how many obstacles you put in the way of that,
We
We
kept
somehow
going for
stumbled
it.
through.
I remember even one part I was like, we're gonna go in that storage locker, get in that storage locker if it kills me.
Kills me.
yeah.
It's like you had some sort of sense that it was just there.
I sensed that you were putting roadblocks in the
really?
way of
Oh.
it.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Okay.
no matter how hard you
Purpose.
try,
Yeah.
we're
I'm
fucking
getting
going.
going.
I don't
Alright.
care.
I know it's there now.
And that brings us to Sleazy Chan, right?
Right.
So there was a point where I was like, they're going to, they're committed to this heist thing. And I had this sneaky little idea that, I'll give them, I did in the heat of the moment say, I can get you in touch with a security expert.
Right.
Had no idea, then I later regretted that. But I was like, okay, I said they were going to have a competent, electronic security person work with them. I'll make that character, but I'll make this character really sketchy and to the point where they may really not want to work with them.
No way, man. I mean,
And,
she was sketchy. It was weird at first, but I was like, she's just a weird character.
Well, that's the thing. I think I got a little too into it and made her a little too interesting. And there were also a bunch of things that she did, and it was another case of whatever, Sleazy Chan, we're not going to look into that.
Yeah.
Because we got too much on our plate right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a perfect storm.
Yeah. And so then eventually it just ended up with, this is going to happen, and we're already at episode 7 or 8 at this point. So, we might as well go through with this. But there were whole characters or other things that never got resolved.
Like
or
Lieutenant Watanabe.
Like Lieutenant Watanabe. There was a
left in
major
the
character
cold.
planned that never made an appearance in here. She was only mentioned by name several times.
I think I saw her in the
Yeah, in the
documents when I was
documents.
looking to when I was putting together the episode that went through the Photoshop documents, and I was like, oh, who's that? Oh,
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well,
And it was the end. It was the end of
the campaign.
the campaign. I'm like, okay, well, I guess that's not happening.
No.
But I guess that's the nature of like when you have something where it's like choose your path.
Yeah.
You know, some paths aren't going to get explored. You're just going to make stuff that isn't going to get seen. But I totally thought like it was the opposite, because I thought by the end of the campaign when it was like she's there, I was like, oh, he put her there because
her there.
we're like
Yeah.
10 chapters in.
I couldn't
I
believe
thought you
that we
had done
just
the thing that you
knew.
said you wouldn't do. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
Where you were like, okay, well, they're at a pretty high stakes moment right now.
Yeah,
This-
let's
this-
just give them.
They've put everything they have
Yeah.
into this basket of this this storage locker. I'm gonna put her in the storage locker.
Oh, well,
But-
that's good then, and maybe it felt natural then in the story.
Yeah.
hopefully.
Yeah.
But no, totally not.
Yeah,
It's
and
so weird.
I also thought that that when you're putting those roadblocks in the way, it was like it was because there was like nothing interesting there or something like that, and we're going to refer to.
Right.
I sensed that you were trying to get us to go to another direction, but I thought it was I connected it with the fact that you were like seemed annoyed that we completely ignored that battle thing. So I was like, maybe he wants us to explore the apartment,
Right.
or do some of that other
Yeah.
stuff first.
It was the battle. It was also the ship, the damsel,
The
which
damsel.
was being mentioned all the time, and
Yeah.
there were a bunch of things leading to that.
Yeah, we never.
You guys
I was
never-
interested in getting on there at one point, but like the storage locker became more and more important to us because
I
we
don't
lost
understand.
No, because we lost the computer.
Right.
And we wanted to repay Alloy Knight because we felt bad.
Yeah.
Right.
The
When
only
there
way to
became-
do that was to break into another locker.
Yeah, when there was,
Right.
became the
That's why it all-
possibility
yeah.
of other money.
Yeah,
that was
the debt thing too. Like
that
you
was
had so much
that was
debt
a possibility.
that you wanted to.
That was one of the motivators. But I think the
Yeah.
reason that we chose the storage locker in the first place was that it seemed like a good jumping off. It seemed like a good starting point.
For
And I remember
clues, yeah.
After we had chosen it, and we were like talking about breaking in. And you're like, well, there's a bunch of armed guards, and like, I'm like, what? It's just because I was imagining a storage locker like you
Yeah.
see in like Toronto or whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you just
Right.
like go and drop
Where
your
it's
shit
just
off.
like, there's
There's no
minimal security.
security.
There's a
Yeah.
gate that
Yeah.
maybe you just jump over,
And a
and if you have
keypad.
someone that can break a lock, you're in.
I guess when I think about it, it is kind of obvious that something important must have
Exactly,
been in there. It was
when you
in
were,
an
like,
air,
armed
like a
guards.
decommissioned aircraft
Yeah.
carrier
Yeah.
under like being guarded.
Yeah.
So, but as soon as you burst that bubble, that it's not easy to get into. It was like shit started to like crash down in on us, where it was just like Lieutenant Watanabe is calling, and the Marquis de Marriott is missing, and
now this other guy is
Alden Kane is coming
Kane's
after
coming
us, and
after
I was just
us.
like, well, I don't know what I can do about any of that, but we have
But I
one
know
goal
we
that
can
we
get to
can
the
achieve,
locker.
Right.
and it's the storage locker.
Yeah.